Anal polyps. Just learned this fun fact last year. What fetish is surprisingly actually a thing? Good googly moogly, it's my favorite viewer, back to watch another story time. I hope you didn't forget about me, and if you're joining us for your first time, I'm Andrew, your storyteller. Since you've made it this far, can you like the video and subscribe? If you do, I'll summon the ghost of Marilyn Monroe to suck you off tonight. Anyways, let's start the stories. I stumbled upon a video once of big fat men rolling around on top of giant balloons. I could see how that might be fun, but erotic? Just in time for Halloween spectrophilia, or sexual attraction to ghosts. How they actually get to successfully pull this off, I have no idea. Felching. Unloading in someone's butt without wearing a condom, then sucking it out. You can also pass your semen around after that via kissing. Photo mags of very fat chicks eating fattening food in skimpy lingerie while reclining on a couch. Skinny female cousin found a ton of these under her hubby's side of the bed one day. She was a bit depressed about it because there was no way she could possibly compete with these other women, and she wasn't about to get fat just to turn her husband on. They separated soon after. Avosodomy, or ducking birds and the like. A lot of people who are into it like to duck chickens because they're small and readily available, but the thing about ducking a chicken is that it kills the chicken. Seriously. I love imagining an ethics council trying to regulate the ducking of chickens. I guess I'm sheltered because everyone I told about this knew this is a thing, but yeah, a guy wanted to watch me duck his wife. I'm black. They are white. Met a cute girl at a bar, made small talk, walked away and didn't think much of it. Later a guy approaches me and goes, "She's cute, huh?" I'm say yeah. He says, "You can duck her tonight, dude." Turns out this was their thing. I don't judge anyone, I just noped away. I like to assume that every single YouPMaywix username is in fact a reflection of that person's fetish. Once more, it tickles me to imagine every single grotesque username on Reddit is in fact a reflection of that person's one throbbing desire. I mean, DickSwiftix checks out. Why not yours? Edit. Did not tag our foul finagling friend as I assume they're likely busy with duck-related business. I read about one a long time ago on RWTF. This dude had a ducking weird fetish. He would take a condom and crap in it a bunch of times. Then he would shape it into a gigantic, almost phallus-shaped monstrosity. Then he would freeze it and use it as a dildo to duck himself up the ass. Good luck making a pun for that one, op. Cold sex. Not sex in the cold, although I'm sure it exists, but being turned on by someone with a cold. For these people, there is nothing sexier than a runny nose expelling thick strands of mucus down the face. The plosive hack of a cough is like dirty talk. A sneeze may as well be an orgasm. It's sick. Beat you to the pun. I still don't understand how bug chazzing is a thing. People go around and purposely infect or get infected with HIV. It is considered to be a form of self-harm. Also, many people that are bug chazzers believe that their worries about the inevitability of catching HIV will be put to rest if they get it. So they actively seek it out. Posted this on an older account, but heck, I allowed myself on this one too. I'm attracted to stomach noises. Not bore, I'm not into predator-prey stuff or any of that. But I've always had a fascination with digestion and people's stomachs. Like the thought of laying on someone's belly and listening is unbelievably hot to me. It's the same with heartbeats, though to a lesser extent. As for the reason, my closest guess is intimacy. Being that close to someone and hearing such a vulnerable, human process gives a feeling of closeness. And yes, I realize how ducking weird this is, believe me. I'm honestly half surprised I didn't use a throwaway to post this. Remember how in older cartoons, when a character was in love, their heart would beat out of their chest? Like you visibly see it stick out and pump in rhythm? There's a fetish for that specific thing. Basically nude characters orgasming while their heart is thumping outside their chest. Edit, obviously, this isn't a link to the exact porn of it, but this is more or less what I'm talking about. Except in the images I've seen, the characters are often getting off, or they just look super strained. I've seen it done with a lot of Tiny Toons characters, weirdly enough. Avisotomy, or ducking birds and the like. A lot of people who are into it like to duck chickens because they're small and readily available, but the thing about ducking a chicken is that it kills the chicken. Seriously. I love imagining an ethics council trying to regulate the ducking of chickens. Is this genuinely a thing, not just an urban myth like the old gerbil stories or something? This is the first one that's actually made me say WTF. Like. A mammal. I can get how someone might be into that. But a frickin' chicken? I hate to break it to you, but gerbil stories are not just urban myths. I live with a paramedic. He's been on a gerbil call. Vor. I don't see the appeal of getting eaten. Vorophile here. It really can vary from person to person, much like other kinks. For some it's about being warm and happy inside someone else. More a feeling of acceptance and giving joy to someone else. For most it also can relate to the need of being not just wanted, but craved. Being hunted is often found in this kink, with the prey just accepting their fate. There are others though that crave the feeling someone normally would give to an inanimate object. The feeling of being needed but without regard to well-being. It very much is a submissive dominance thing, of course. I would say the majority of the population of vorophiles would end their kink at being eaten and coming to rest in the predator's stomach, but there are others who want to take it much farther. It also has a much higher ratio of people who firmly put this kink in fantasy only than plenty of other fetishes. Financial domination. I totally get paying a dominatrix for services, but the idea that making the payment is the fetish is just baffling. As someone who has unfortunately gotten into this fetish, I'll try to do my best to explain. First, I'll say different people get different things out of it, and there are many different versions of it. For some, they just like the idea of worshipping someone else and spoiling them. It can have crossovers with the sugar daddy sugar baby lifestyle too. But for many it seems that it's mostly about being degraded, humiliated, used, and treated like absolute crap. I've never actually engaged in it, and I don't ever plan to, but I've kept in contact with some who have, and I've seen how toxic and destructive it can become. The thing that separates it from most other SAM is that it's usually not in any way an act. It's usually an actual abusive relationship, albeit consensual, but consensual very commonly due to unhealthy and compulsive self-destructive urges. These are people who don't want to just play the role of someone being exploited and then turn it off, they actually want to be exploited. They have a strong urge to be manipulated and encouraged to do things they know will have severe negative consequences on their life. Usually by a stranger online that they'll never meet, sometimes never even see. There's almost never a safe word or any timeouts. From start to finish, the relationship with their dom will consist of being treated as subhuman and being encouraged to give as much as possible. It erodes self-esteem. But for so many that's what makes it so intense and exciting, the fact that it's so extremely destructive and dangerous. Some subs will even give over very personal info, social security numbers, passwords to every online account they have, phone numbers of people in their life, etc., to give that person more leverage to exploit them. Many subs become addicted to it as it plays with such extreme emotions and intense levels of arousal. Sexual arousal is tied up into it, of course, but it becomes way more than that. I'm kind of disgusted by the lack of humanity that I've seen from so many financial doms. Some of them seem to genuinely care about the well-being of their subs, but there are so many that seem to just be abusive, exploitative people who have found a group of people with weak boundaries and poor self-control willing and excited to be their victims. Several of the subs I've talked to have told me that when they tried to get help as it was becoming an addiction and a real problem for them, their doms encouraged them not to and would keep contacting them even when they asked them to stop. That kind of crap often seems to be glorified in the scene as just another part of the fetish, since it's all just about manipulation and exploitation. To me that's unacceptable, despicable behavior. I wish the actual abusive doms in the fandom scene would be shamed, but they always seem to get away with hiding behind, it's consensual. It's not really that simple when the person consenting also strongly wishes they could stop and regrets it, and it's having huge negative consequences on their life. Addiction and compulsion are not things to be taken lightly. Again, this doesn't apply to all financial subs, but it does to a lot of them, and it's a really sad thing to see. Thanks for watching. What did you think of the story time? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more story times.